Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and you know what we do on Saturdays? We have a little fun. I covered this earlier in the week about the Federal Housing Administration, I guess, basically saying that they're going to move to allow us to get a mortgage using our crypto. In my case, our XRP. This is making things very interesting. Well, my partners over at Gulf of America XRP.com, these guys are involved in real estate down on the Gulf of America. They span all the way from Panama City Beach all the way west to, I believe, around Pensacola-ish, which is all that beachfront property down there. And what they do is every Friday they send me an email, and it shows me properties that are down on that Gulf of America, down in that area. And so on every Friday they send the email out. Well, this was the one I got for this Friday, and I wanted to show you this one. This is a $6.985 million house, and I want to show you what you get for $6.985 million. This is on Panama City Beach, Florida. But first I wanted to show you this. It's called the Sea Castle. It's one of the highest earning vacation rental properties on the Emerald Coast, having produced over $535,000 in rental income last year. Let's look at what you get for $6.9 million in Florida. All you California people, I want you to be thinking, could you get this for $6.9 million over in Malibu? I don't think so. There's your hot tub and your pool. You're looking at, of course, you're right on the beach. Looks like they've got a big green egg. Now let's check this house out. There's your view. It's about as good as it gets, folks. That's the back of the house right there. It looks to be, what is that, 4 levels, well, including the bottom, 4 levels. So you got 3 balconies, and then you got a little deck area down there. Really nice kitchen. Look at the view when you're sitting there cooking. I would love to have that view, but if you're like me, these are the kind of things that you're dreaming about when these prices finally skyrocket, folks. This is the kind of thing you're thinking about. And these are the kind of, the reason I join lists like this is so that when the time comes, I've already studied it. I already kind of know the gist of the area and what I'm interested in and those kind of things. I'm also interested in buying some hunting land personally. So there's one of your balconies looking down. I just wanted to show you some of this. Now, if you want to join their it's an email newsletter. You go to gulfofamericaxrp.com. Now, if you're already ready to go look at properties, you can call this number 850-890-8884. Call or text Daniel there, and you can start, but you can at least join the email newsletter and start receiving the emails. I know a lot of you out there dream the way that I dream. Today, you know, Chris Larson recently did an interview that was released, and I caught something in the interview that some of you may have missed, and it kind of if it's true, it kind of blows the timeline on Ripple and XRP out of the water based on what I've always known. I'm going to show you that part of the interview when we get in the group. I'll show you another part of it before we get there. Look at this. This is from Paul Barron. And 63% of the next generation is investing in crypto. Here's how it breaks down. Gen Z 26%, millennials 37%, Gen X 18%, baby boomers 9%. Now this is going to get interesting. This is the actor I can't remember the name of the movie, but he was in a movie with the main guy that was in Ozarks. I'm drawing a blank on both their names, but they were in a movie, a funny Christmas movie that I like. He was also in that series on was it HBO or Showtime called Silicon Valley, and he's apparently a crypto guy. He's basically telling you right now that the movies and the TV and the commercial marketing of crypto is about to get started.
We need people to understand.
So this is how they're going to bring in, and also don't forget that baby boomer generation, who's the least amount of people in crypto. They're coming into crypto whether they like it or not, because it's all being tokenized. And if you're owning tokenized anything, bonds, stocks, equities, ETFs, you're in crypto, period. Because crypto is the asset class that's going to swallow all other asset classes.
Understand that it's here. It says the future starts, it's already here. Blockchain is already here. It's already happening. And so it's like trying to explain the internet to people in 2008. It's the people that don't really want to hear about it or don't want to get involved in it or anything. It's just hard to let them know that this is going to be an integral part of everything. This kind of is how everything is going to work. And I think you're right, absolutely, that the less we make it Clubhouse or culty or that stuff, the more people will go, okay, because we all want people to learn about it, be fascinated by it, and then understand it. But it's a tough thing to do. And that's why I want to incorporate, I was talking to somebody about, by incorporating Bitcoin and blockchain and everything into television series, movies, music, whatever it is, to sort of push cultural adoption. You also want to do it in an ancillary way. So it isn't a documentary about Bitcoin because everyone's going to go, I heard about Bitcoin. It's not a series about blockchain and the different way. It is a movie about this.
One thing I forgot to mention on these guys at GulfofAmericaXRP.com, by the way, they are connected to all the rental management companies. They know the best places if you do buy a property to put in a rental management program. They know the best rental management programs. In fact, they've owned rental properties themselves down there for years and have them in rental management programs, so they know all about it. Okay, moving along. Now, I did make this comment, .com 2.0, but this time the companies are actually profitable, different from the .coms that went public with no business plan, and they were selling the idea that, oh yeah, you got to go in massive debt, and then eventually down the road, this is the internet, eventually down the road you'll be making money hand over fist, which never happened in a lot of their cases. Check this out. This was Trump at the podium on Friday.
Bills passed in the next few months?
Well, it's a very funny thing, crypto. So I became a fan of crypto, and to me it's an industry. I view it as an industry, and I'm president. And if we didn't have it, China would, or somebody else would, but most likely China. China would love to. And we've dominated that industry. It's a big industry, by the way. In fact, when the stock market went down recently, crypto and Bitcoin and all of that went down much less than anybody else as a group. And we've created a very powerful industry, and that's much more important than anything that we invest in. We invest in it, but really that was an industry that wasn't doing particularly well. I got involved with it a couple of years ago, and before the second term. I got involved before I decided to run. I only decided to run because I saw what was happening, and Biden was incompetent, and the administration was crooked and incompetent, and I was in Bitcoin then, not knowing if I was going to do it a third time. So it's become amazing. I mean, it's the jobs that it produces, and I notice more and more you pay in Bitcoin. I mean, people are saying it takes a lot of pressure off the dollar, and it's a great thing for our country. So
we heard that last part in another clip I played. Check this out. I like this thought. The SEC versus Ripple case. This is from the guy at Ono Finance. No, I'm sorry, different guy. There was I saw a guy from Ono Finance. I think I've got his tweet too. SEC versus Ripple case news today, in my opinion, means we will see Ripple buy at least one exchange. Because remember, the judge's ruling said that it was okay for Ripple to sell XRP to exchanges. So why not buy an exchange? So he says, means we will see Ripple buy at least one exchange, if not more. Sales to exchanges as of right now is their best path forward. Buying an exchange provides a path that makes a ton of sense now and long term. Uphold is still the most logical target unless there's some emerging market they want to strategically tap into. And I said, Ripple strategic Uphold purchase, ? Here's the Ono Finance guy I was thinking about. Yield enjoyer, the marketing guy, Ono Finance. Wall Street 2.0 is happening soon. And .com 2.0 with profit. Okay, I wanted to show you this clip from, this is from Chris Larson from his interview. Listen to this. He's talking about the XRP community.
Guys, with XRP, you've been here for more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, if we exclude Tether. And one of the main reasons behind the longevity and the strength is the community. How do you build what is arguably the strongest community, crypto community of all time?
Well, we started pretty early. XRP got going even before Ethereum. So I think that's one thing. I also think just like a successful fiat currency, if you look at the Swiss central bank, for example, or the Singaporean central bank, I like those models because they're not, US dollar or euro, and they're fairly small countries, yet they're phenomenally successful currencies. Kind of why is that, right? I think there is trust in those countries' sort of rule of law and the way they've organized their societies, which might be equivalent to the way a successful cryptocurrency, the way its code started and sort of has been maintained and works. I think there's also a conservatism that's built into both Switzerland and Singapore. Another reason why they're successful currencies. Currency should be very stable and not changing a lot, right? Compare that to any unsuccessful fiat currencies where the economies are going through all kinds of crazy stuff and changing all the time. Let's try this, let's try that. I won't name any names not to insult any countries, but I think, we can think of plenty of examples like that. And I think the same thing applies to crypto. The crypto projects, they're, let's burn half of this and let's change this and let's go in this direction. We're going to do an airdrop there. We're going to do, it's chaotic. It's like the opposite of what any currency in the world kind of strives to be successful at. So a fundamental conservatism. By the way, I'd point to Bitcoin, incredibly conservative community, incredibly conservative. I think that served them well. You could argue all kinds of things should be improved there, but the fundamental is a conservatism, and I think that's really important. So, and again, the longevity, the longer a group has stayed in sort of the top tier, that gets kind of ahead of steam, especially when you have this crazy thing where, how many currencies are there today, cryptos?
Probably millions.
I mean, it's ridiculous, right? But it's becoming less and less relevant, right? Sure, you can easily start it, but it means nothing anymore because it's that kind of consistency, the track record, the trust, the community, and the XRP community is amazing. I mean, incredible. And, they stood through the project through thick and thin, and just like the Bitcoin folks.
We've got the battle scars to prove it.
They stood through it through thick and thin. Ethereum kind of going through a little bit of challenge there. Is that going to be the case with the Ethereum community? We'll see. But that's super important. So the community is super, super important. And I think everybody who was involved in the XRP project is incredibly grateful.
Well, that is nice of him to say. Now, what did he say in this interview that caught my attention? There's one couple of sentences where I was like, what? I'm going to cover that in daixrp.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of my YouTube videos, or you can subscribe through the X platform. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.